toxic people. Hold on, folks. This one is going to be a doozy. A toxic person is anyone who drains your energy, leaving you feeling worse than you did before your interaction with them. They're often victims who are self-absorbed in their own drama, who constantly complain or who stir the pot, talking behind people's backs. If you listen to your intuition and pay attention to the energy other people give off, the toxic people in your life will become very evident. Signs of a toxic person can include, but are certainly not limited to, constant talking but very little listening. They rarely apologize, they blame others, and they don't take responsibility for their own part in their own problems. They complain about their problems, but they refuse to do anything about them despite asking for advice. They don't consider the feelings or needs of others. They say negative things about you or put you down. They take advantage of your kindness. They lie, steal, or manipulate others. Setting boundaries requires you to gain awareness of who is life-giving and who is life-taking, who respects you and who does not, who uses and abuses you and who cares for you. It requires you to respect yourself enough to put intentional space between you and unhealthy people. Sometimes tough conversations need to happen. Sometimes all you need is to get yourself on a higher vibration energetically, which causes the lower vibration people to become uncomfortable around you, and they follow in naturally without you having to say or do anything. Setting boundaries is a form of self-care. When boundaries are set, we are less likely to be angry and resentful because we are protecting ourselves and our need for safety and security are being met. Boundaries make expectations clear on how we want to be treated. Boundaries build the healthy, positive, and loving foundations for healthy relationships, no matter if it's family, friends, or coworkers. The critical key to setting boundaries is to communicate clearly what you want and need. On a piece of paper, put down a person you currently need to set boundaries with. List out the unhealthy aspects of the relationship. List out your expectations of the relationship as it relates to your wants and needs. Come up with a few sentences that you can use to clearly communicate your boundaries calmly without blaming, being defensive, or over-explaining. Setting boundaries can take some time, and we can't force anyone to change their behavior, but we can control how we respond to their behavior. If you go through the motions of identifying toxic people, how to go about speaking with them, and communicating your needs clearly, and they still don't honor your boundaries, you have some options. Decide if your boundary is negotiable. So what are you willing to accept? What's tolerable and what's intolerable? Compromising can be a good thing if both parties are willing to meet in the middle. Boundary violations. All right, so make a note of when a particular person violates your boundaries and how you feel about each instance. Check for patterns and where you're struggling to stay firm with the boundaries that you've set. Look for inconsistencies and make adjustments. Understand that some people won't respect your boundaries no matter what you do or say. And as much as you'd like to convince someone to respect your boundaries, some people are just stuck in their ways. This part of the process can be very disappointing and hurtful, but you'll have to identify this person as someone you either want to continue having a relationship with or not. You cannot change someone else's behavior. They have to want to change on their own. You can plant the seed and water it, but it's ultimately up to them to grow and change from there. Your choices are to accept the behavior or to choose to disengage from the relationship. Speaking of that, you can lovingly detach, which is the process by which you'll shift away from trying to control that other person's behavior. When you're in fear, the mind shifts into a state where you want to control people and situations in an effort to protect yourself. In the end, trying to control someone really never works. Rarely. By detaching, we stop trying to change that other person and forcing the outcome we want to see. Detachment doesn't mean that you don't care about the person. It means that you're loving yourself enough to care for yourself and your own well-being. It's being realistic about what you can actually do to improve the situation not only for yourself, but the boundary violator as well. Steps to lovingly detach from a toxic person include, but are not limited to, not being around them physically. Responding to them differently. Instead of getting upset or taking something personally, just shrug off a rude comment or make light of it. This will change the entire dynamic of the instance and the relationship. Choose not to engage in arguments with this person that are unproductive or taking time that you could be using to bring joy to your life. Do not give advice that is not requested. Let the person make their own individual decisions and be able to let them deal with the consequences of their behavior. Decline invitations to spend time with this person. You can also limit contact or have no contact. If someone is refusing to respect you and continues to be hurtful towards you, sometimes the only way to fully protect yourself is to stop associating with them altogether. Not having contact or limiting the time you spend with someone who is toxic is not a punishment, nor are you manipulating others. You are putting yourself, your energy, and your needs first, and there is nothing wrong with that. It is, in fact, a form of self-care. If someone is causing you harm emotionally or physically, you are responsible for putting distance between you and that toxic person. The toughest situations are when this toxic person happens to be a family member. You may get a lot of pressure from others to preserve the relationship because it's family, but I'm here to tell you that it doesn't matter who it is. If they're toxic, and you do not need to take their abuse, neglect, or negativity. Do not allow anyone else to bully you into making decisions you don't want to. Do not let others pressure you or guilt trip you into having a relationship with someone you know deep down is not healthy for you, no matter who it is. Friends and family are supposed to be in our lives to love us unconditionally, to support us positively, to lift us up, and to be a positive influence. They're not meant to drag us down, suck out all of our energy, put us down, disrespect us, or leave us confused, angry, depressed, or anxious.